feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
All right, boy, Trigger Man, back in the lab. And today, what we have here. All right, today we have another cheapo job. No, this one isn't El Cheapo, the car salesman guy, but it's a cheapo job, okay? It's a cheapo job. Door handle still in, mirrors on. I didn't even bother covering up everything in here because of what it is, you know? So it's like, I just threw some wheel covers on there, and you guys know that's rare for me, but yeah, it's like nobody, you know, even the squirters are still in there, which I think that's a first time for the channel. Usually I take the initiative and I go in and pop those out, but it's like I be carrying more than everybody around here. So I'm just contracted to paint the vehicle, okay? So don't shoot the Trigger Man, because the Trigger Man shoot back. But yeah, so, you know, they even wanted to do the little panels here, you know, so they wanted to do that in with the job, I guess. Usually you do that after, but hey, man, you know, I'm just giving them what they want. Yeah, so 1/2 gallon of Nason full thing, paint code 202. I think that was the same code as that Lexus we did. Yeah, and a little thing of activator. Total on the materials was $224. Okay, I'm not sure what he's charging for the job, but I was up front when the paint came in, 224 bucks for that. So that's where we're at, man. So hopefully it comes out good. I'm not gonna give you guys a beginning like, oh, this is gonna be how you're gonna make glass, or this is gonna be how to do this, because, you know, I'm just gonna do my same old 1-2 step. If something happens throughout the video, I'll show you how to correct it. But also, I am gonna give you guys a tip. You know, a lot of guys that worry about stuff peeling around the door handles and stuff. So yeah, I'll throw in a little tip like that at the beginning, start the voiceover. But, you know, other than that, it's pretty much 1-2, man, you know. But, all right, so I'm gonna go mix up that paint. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show a couple of guys been wanting to see like how I mix up my single stage. I tell them it's 8-to-1, but they wanna see it on the cup, you know. It's nothing magical I do, but I'll show it, okay? So I'm gonna show that, and then we'll go from there, man. So I'll mask up and we'll get to it. Boop.
Okay, so here we go on the mixture. The mixture for the Nason full thing is 8-to-1, okay? You select the column on the mixing bucket that has your ratio of 8-to-1, or whatever your ratio may be. Okay, first line with your paint. And I believe that's the, I don't know, 5, 4. Then go with the 483-15 activator. That's going to be the 1. Okay, 8 parts paint, 1 part activator. There is your 1 part activator, and then reducer, slow. Now, remember I've told you guys before in previous videos, your reducer makes a big difference in your finish. You use cheap reducer, your finish will reflect that, okay? I use our ProSpray brand when I'm doing these overalls because I want it to shine, I want it to last. Those cheap reducers, for instance, that other one there was, I think, AmTech. That might have been 30 bucks for a gallon. Our ProSpray reducer, I think it's 109 for that gallon. They're both base reducers. I have the option to use either or. Why would I use one over the other? Because it makes a difference. Now, for the guys that are worried about if you don't R&I, if you don't remove certain parts and you mask them up, is it gonna peel? Is it gonna peel? Number one, if you sand it correctly, no, it's not gonna peel. But if you have a concern that maybe I didn't sand it right, and you really don't want it to peel, use some Bulldog. Okay? Any areas that you have that is a concern, go ahead and use some Bulldog. Anywhere. It could be under the belt molding, door handle, anywhere. The bumper, some guys like, oh, you didn't R&I the bumper. Okay, spray the bumper. The little chrome above the license plate, okay, spray it there. Anywhere on the vehicle that you're unsure, oh, I'm scared it might peel, spray some Bulldog. Okay, around there with the fog light, I forget what they call it there, but where the fog light would be if you had a fog light, but it's just a blank cover, insert, whatever, spray it there. Anywhere you have. Okay, I mean, it's not gonna peel as long as you sand it right all the way up to the edge there, and you'll be fine. But again, I know most people that come in and say that, oh, that's gonna peel, most of it is just trolls, people that are still learning to paint, or they just got their first job as a painter and they're the best, so that's what they say. So it's like, but 23 psi. But I know there's people out there who genuinely may have that concern. And from Trigger Man to you, now you see something's going on with my gun. And you guys know the LPH 400. I just whip it out and I spray. I don't be sitting there. One turn in. Three turns in. I normally don't even do this. So there's something wrong. Looks like everything's spraying correctly, right? No. That's when you know your gun. That's why I tell you guys, pick a gun. Get to know that gun. Just like I say, get to know a material. Stick with one clear coat. Get to know it. That's what I mean. So when you start to spray, 1-2 passes, you know something's wrong. Something's off. Okay? And on my LPH, something was off. And turns out my cap, I think I sprayed, I forget what I sprayed, but on this day was a Monday. And on Friday, I remember I sprayed something. It was some type of single stage. And I didn't clean the gun out all the way because I was ready to get out of there. So that's what happened. And it kind of was built up and hard around the cap. So that's what it was. I was going to edit this out because it's really not that important. But to somebody out there, it could be. So now she's spraying like she's supposed to. But again, if you use so many different guns, this would just be, you would just be spraying and not even really know, If this was a different type of gun, a different gun that I don't use that often, I would have thought that it's okay. It was spraying, but being that I know this gun inside out and what it's supposed to do when I pull the trigger, like I shouldn't have even been messing around with the settings on it because I know the gun, I know what it does. I know how it performs at the pressure. But we're all good now. All right, what am I doing? Okay. I forgot to clean off my hose. Always clean off your hose, preferably with an old tack rag. So yeah, for you guys that were kind of iffy about the paint peeling around the handles or the windshield wiper squirters, always number one choice, take them out. If you can take it out, if there's someone there to take them out, take it out. Okay? But if you can't, if you're like me and then you're in a position to where you're just subcontracted to spray, then you have no say and you want to cover your butt, go ahead and put a little Bulldog. But I tell you, if it's prepped correctly, sanded all the way up to the edge, round the edge, like, it'd be okay. believe me, if these cars were peeling and coming back peeled, I would stop this show like right away. I would be the first person to be like, no. If the cars are coming back peeling and I got to redo them, no. First thing I would tell the owner, like, no, this is the last one. Or this will be my last one. So, trust me when I tell you, man, these cars are not coming back peeling, okay? The boss has been there 60 years. I've been there 13 years now. If these cars were coming back peeling, I would be the first to say it. I'm not sneaking and redoing cars and not telling you guys. Like, it just don't happen, you know? But I get it. They should be taken out, you know. I do get it. Because when I have friends to come visit me that I used to work with in the dealerships and stuff, and they see this stuff going on, and I'm like, man, just shut up, man. I don't want to hear it, you know? Because that's what I come from. I was one of those guys, man, you know? And it took me a long time to get to the point to where it's like, whatever. They pay me. You know what I mean? But if you are doing your own thing on the side, you're doing whatever you got to do, and you can't go taking out the door panels to take out the door handles and take off the bumpers, and you just want to make some money to do a quick Mako style paint job, if you sand it correctly, it will not peel. If you want a little insurance that it does not peel, use adhesion promoter. Okay? I'd say Bulldog, preferably. That's always my go-to, Bulldog. The prepper does have a can of TransStar adhesion promoter that I get for her to like clean the molding. Sometimes the moldings, because we do a lot of, as you see, we do a lot of masking, and sometimes like tape doesn't stick to like under the wheel well, different things, you know, it just doesn't stick to some grills, sometimes the front grills or whatever. So I have her to wipe down those parts with adhesion promoter, and for that, a little cheaper one is fine. TransStar, that's what we have in the shop for her. But for me with painting, like, it's Bulldog, you know. I've had stuff peel off in the past with other products, so whether it was a faulty can, user error, which I doubt, I stick to what I know and what's always worked for me. And like I said at the beginning, as far as the different base reducers, those cheap base reducers, they will bite you, man. And more than likely, they are biting you, and you don't even know it. Like some of you guys, you paint stuff, man, and it dies back a lot, or while you're painting, your metallics don't flow the way they should. Lots of different things, man. I've seen a lot of different issues come from using those cheap base reducers, you know. Like, I keep them there just because, you know, the majority of the work that we do, I won't say even majority, just some of the work we do. Here's a second coat of single stage. Some of the work we do, you know, it's cheapy 1 2 3 stuff. And even for this job, this is, you know, it's a cheapy job, of course. And normally I would put the cheaper reducer in there, that high-tech stuff. But for the purpose of the video and to show you guys, I went ahead and used the better stuff. Now that's just something I would use on a tricky metallic job, you know, like the 1G3s or whatever. Just the trickier metallics, I would use the better base coat reducer. And then something like this for the cheapy jobs, this is why I have the cheap stuff. Okay. But again, just for the video purpose, I had it sitting there. I was like, let me just throw it in, you know. Each video I try to throw a little something in here for you guys, you know. Okay, and other than that, everything else is the same old 1-2 step. So for this second coat, I'm just gonna go ahead and crank up little tunes and let you guys go ahead and vibe out, and I will catch you at the end. Peace.
right, got it done. This is what we're looking like. On the Mako El Cheapo El Mako. It's all right. Could be better. Could be worse. But that'll fly. Customer will love it for a cheap, affordable paint job in today's economy. This is what's needed, okay? We don't need you $10,000, $20,000 paint jobs in this economy. Okay? Affordable to the average person. Let them get in it and go. All right, so that's a wrap. Tomorrow, I get it out in the sun sometime, take a peek at it. See what we got. All right. Next morning. Top of the morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So this is what we're looking like on the Mako style paint job. Okay. Let's see. So you guys worrying about stuff peeling, whatever, you know, putting down the little bulldog, that ain't gonna peel, man. That is not gonna peel. And those of you who know Trigger Man know I don't BS you. That stuff, it ain't gonna peel anyway, regardless, without the bulldog. But on top of that, like, no. If that's a concern, I know most people are just trolls that say that and they really don't know. But no, ain't nothing on this car gonna peel. I ain't worried about that. Okay. Again, just a little cheap, affordable paint job. Okay. For the average working guy, this is more than acceptable. And then I think we're also gonna do the headlights. The headlights need some Visine, so they were pretty yellowed. But that's it, guys. Tree guys cutting trees. Dust, dirt everywhere. And still able to get a fairly decent, clean paint job. But end of the day, remember, it's only a spray gun. Now go have fun.
Okay, so again, just like on the Lexus, on that past overall, we did the headlights. Again, make sure you put your bulldog. You see, bulldog is universal. Everyone painting should have a can of bulldog. Okay, put your bulldog, then go ahead and put your clear coat. Give it about 3, 4, 5 minutes after your bulldog. Then put your clear coat down. On this one, I put 2 coats of the AmTech clear on it. And then that's going to do it, man. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You know, an affordable job, nothing crazy for the average working single mom, dad, whatever. But, you know, not everybody has the $5,000, $10,000 for a paint job. And this is what it looks like. Right before the customer came to pick it up, the owner went and washed the wheels on the car. That was it. So not even a wash. You know, the car hasn't even been washed. The owner there, see him there, he's just washing the wheels, and that's it. You know, did the headlights, and that's what we got. And yeah, there still is, I think there was 1 or 2 little dings still left in the car. Hey, can't catch them all. There's one right on this passenger, the driver's side rear door, little dent right up in there. So it ain't like I'm trying to hide nothing. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hope somebody learned something. Please like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.